What's going on, y'all? It's Robert Q. Jackson, aka Mr. Get Your Popcorn Ready, and this is a FlmLnk Spotlight. It's a long story, but I'll cut it down for you. Born and raised in the west side of Detroit. Shout out to the west side. Went to Detroit Public Schools, graduated from Montford High School. Shout out to the Mustangs. I've been in school, I was always doing theater. I think the first time I ever was on stage was in elementary school, I think like third grade. I remember playing an old man. I had to take chalk and they had a fake beard. They had to like make it. I killed it. I had a lot of fun. And my principal told me, she told my mom, she said, your son's gonna be one of three things: a lawyer, a car salesman, or an actor. I'm an actor. So it's always been in me. I love pretending. I love going to a place and allowing my imagination to run. So after I graduated, I actually went to the Air Force. I was in the Air Force for 12 years. So supporting and defending the Constitution. I had a lot of fun. I traveled a lot. I was in Georgia for 2 years. I was in Japan for 2 years, Las Vegas for 2 years. Came back here. And when I came back here, it was kind of rough. It was like right in between the housing crisis. And so tried a little acting, tried to get back into it. But I started establishing those relationships then. Did a little bit of theater, did a couple commercials here and there, just small commercials, local commercials. Then I left, went to Texas, came back again, started working for one of the big companies here. I won't mention the name, but stayed there for 5 years. But in that process, I really got back into theater. So Joe Smith, Richard Bass, Melissa Talbert, Rocky, Janaea, Naomi, a lot of those people that were in theater, they gave me my opportunity. And shout out to Richard. I'm gonna always give shout out to Richard. Richard gave me my first lead role ever. And I was in Out of Bounds. And I realized how tough it was. But it was over from there because I enjoyed it so much. Fast forward, those same people start getting into the independent film industry. And so I had built relationships with those people and I was dependable. I had integrity. I loved the game. All of the things that you would want from a person because I took it so seriously. I don't do it for the popularity. I don't do it for the fame. I don't do it for the awards. I don't even do it for the money. It's really because I enjoy doing it. I've been like this since I was a kid. And so here we are, almost I think that was maybe about 6 or 7 years old. So we are almost 30 plus years later. And I'm living out my dream and I love it. I'm having a blast. My favorite role that I've done has to be God Forgives I Don't. That was my first lead role on film. And the reason why I love that role so much, and a lot of people don't know this, and I'm glad that I'm getting the opportunity to finally put this in a public forum. A lot of people don't know. My mom, she had passed away. And in that moment, before that last scene in God Forgives I Don't, that's real. There's no acting in acting. And so what happened is my mom, she had passed away. And I think it was about a year in after that, at that point, I hadn't grieved. I hadn't grieved for my mom. And in the moment going up to that, I thought I had to be angry. And about 5 minutes before Janaea comes to me, he's like, Rob, are you ready? So I had been listening to DMX, so I'm trying to get angry. And in that very moment of right before they called action, I got immensely sad. Because I'm like, this is my moment. All the hard work and everything that I've put into this industry and into this craft, my mom isn't here to see it. And I just got so sad. So when you see me walk through that door, I'm not mad at Marcy. I'm not mad at Snake. I'm just really, really sad. And so the conversation that I'm having in that scene is real. So the part where I go, I did everything that you asked me to do, and we're still here. That's me. I was supposed to say that to Marcy, but I was so in the moment, I said it to God because that's what I really wanted to say. I was so angry. I was mad at God because he took my mom away. And so that's real. I had completely unhinged myself from reality. The cameras weren't there. Marcy wasn't Marcy. Snake wasn't Snake. Those are people that were real in my life. So me grabbing her by the throat and me flipping the chair, that's not in the script. That's real. That's all natural. So there's a point in that scene where you see me go, "Ooh," and that's me. I literally had to come back because I had to like, Rob, this isn't real. This is acting, right? Because I had completely blacked out. So I totally understand what it means to go there, right? And I couldn't stop crying. I think I cried for about 45 minutes after that scene because it was so real. And so once you unlock that level, you're gonna be all right. It's hard to choose. And the reason for that is because I take everything serious, right? So every role that I have, is relatable. A lot of the roles that I have, I see myself in those roles, right? From God Forgives I Don't, I'm a man of God. So it was easy for me to do that role. Even with DJ the Weejay, he's the same age as my son. So it's easy for me to relate to that. Even if you go to People Movers, where I'm playing Shaky J, he's stuttering, right? That's fun, but I used to stutter when I was a kid. So that's relatable. All the roles, even A Good Man, me joking with Kamal and having that moment with Ethan, and like, that's how I was when I was in corporate America. Like, I'm very serious, I'm about business, but I'm gonna have fun in it. Like, so I can't say that there's really any one that really, really stuck out, but if I had to choose for today, I would have to go with, I'm gonna go with Widow's Fire. And the reason for that is, like I tell everybody, I think that was the closest thing to me on screen. I can't wait to be a husband. I'm already a father. I'm a very loving and caring individual. I want to be able to be the best man I can be. I'm already a great man for myself, and the way I go about doing things, the military taught me that discipline. I'm a great father because my father was great to me, so I'm able to go down that path. It's just the last frontier of me completing what I like to call the trifecta of like a man, right? You take care of yourself, you take care of your family, and then you have a spouse. So it was interesting and it was refreshing to be able to kind of be in that moment and to have that scene with Celeste and to love on her and show people what I'm capable of, right? There's no acting in acting, again. So I think that would probably be the one I would have to say was my favorite. Good question. It had to be God Forgives I Don't. It has to be that. Because again, I went to another level there. I went to another level. I didn't think I was gonna, I did not expect it to be that surreal, right? Like, as men, we don't get the opportunity to be that vulnerable. And it takes a lot of courage to already step in front of the camera and sit in front of people and take the chance of looking silly, looking like not cool, right? But to completely be untethered to your emotions and allow it to be you and just raw, that I can't put words on that. I can't put words on that. And when I knew I could do that, and then when I seen it, and then the feedback that I get from people, telling people, and they're like, hey, Rob, like, I'm talking about some of the most street dudes I know, they're like, bro, I cried on that. And I'm like, you should have, because I wasn't faking it, right? And so at that moment, especially when you get that feedback from people who, they tough all the time, right? And you get that feedback and they like, hey man, you cooking. Like, I really felt that. And then for them to open up and have that bridge and that gap that we don't have all the time. And people telling me like, hey, I went through that, personally, like they went through with DJ the Week, which they went through with the whole situation in the movie. Like, and for them to be like, it was hard for me to watch, but I'm glad you guys are telling those type of stories. So yeah, that was good. I think that was the moment I knew I'm gonna do this. I'm fully committed. All of them, every single last one. There's not one role that I've ever played where I was uncomfortable. Again, in order to really embrace the character, you have to become the character, right? So I always use Heath Ledger, right, from the Joker. The reason why that character worked so much is because he had to become that, right? He literally had to embrace that character. Jamie Foxx had to become Ray. Denzel had to become Malcolm X. Angela Bassett had to become Tina Turner. Will Smith had to become Muhammad Ali. And when you can tap in and become the character and understand the character fully, that's when it's authentic. And those are why those are the best performances, because you don't see Jamie Foxx. You don't see that person. You don't see Samuel L. Jackson. You don't see the actor. You completely have a veil over your eyes and you're enthralled and you're totally into the character. So every character I've ever played, I try to give people that feeling, right? It's relatable. And so people who've known me from childhood, who know me as Q, then people who know me as Rob, and then people who know me as Sergeant Jackson, people who know me as Rock City from the military, like all of those things, all those characters that I play, they like, that's you, that's really you. And so it's just great. They all mean something to me. They all mean something. And it takes a lot of mental capacity to be able to compartmentalize which piece of you have to use, and then shut everything else down and become Shaky J and be a pimp and do the shaking, to be Matt and a good man and kind of be corporate, right? When I'm playing the detective in Missing, right? That has to do something. When I'm in Friendly Date and I'm being the silly big brother and I have my comedic timing, right? All of those roles mean something. Even the movie that I got coming out with Urban Cineplex Will, with Love Hard, me being a bad guy, me being a drug dealer, like, not saying I sold drugs, but I've been around enough people and I've been in those situations to where, growing up on the west side of Detroit, I done been around them folks. And so you can't be joking around them people. So you have to be that, right? So you take that little bitty piece that you had and then you expand that, and then you take a little bit what you've seen from them and then you incorporate that. And that's why it becomes authentic. So every role, I love every role. There's never not gonna be a role that you see me at that isn't a part of me. But that's also why I don't take certain roles. There's a lot of roles I've turned down that I just won't do because that's not me. Ooh, good question. For me personally, it's not being pigeonholed into being typecast. So that's why I try to switch my look up. So I'll do a little gray sometimes. I'll grow my hair out. I'll do a goatee. I'm fully committed to doing whatever is necessary to be different. And a lot of times that's a challenge, right? Because when you're really good at what you do, people want you to keep doing that, right? And so I make sure that I vet the people that I do projects with, and then I also look at the character and I say, is this character like any other character? And if it is, then what I try to do is, the challenge is how do I take Matt from A Good Man and not make him like another character? You know, how do I take the pastor from God Forgives I Don't, and doing the next movie that I'm doing with T. Rich and Meech, and how do I not make that pastor look just like this pastor? So again, you do little things. And so the challenge is always thinking in your head, okay, I did that already. How do I make it different? So like the next movie, I have to play a pastor. And so this pastor, I'm gonna let the gray show out. I got my hair, but I'm also gonna put glasses on. And so being in that costume is gonna help me get through that challenge. The reality is you're gonna lose a lot more than you win in the beginning. Spoiler alert, you're gonna lose. If I have 45 plus movies, how many times have I been told no? What's the math on that, right? You have to be okay with being told no. And no doesn't mean no. No means not right now. There's roles that I wanted and I didn't get because I wasn't tall enough, because I was too tall, because I wouldn't cut my beard, because my hair wasn't long enough, because I have already played that type of role before, right? So understanding no is a part of the process, and it is not indicative of your abilities. And then also, rejection is sometimes protection. You cannot get caught up on not being able to do something. One of my favorite quotes I've heard recently is, can you be fully committed to the process without being emotionally attached to the outcome? Meaning, if you don't get your way, is that gonna change the fact that you're gonna stop showing up, that you're gonna stop going to auditions? No, you have to be committed. The more committed you are to it, then the better you'll be. And so that's a reality. And then also, you're gonna get hired. They're gonna go to the table read. They're gonna draw up everything. And right before you sign your contract, they're gonna say, we chose somebody else. It's happened to me. I've done it. I've studied the lines and everything. That's okay. But here's the trick. Be so good that they can't ignore you. And that's how you get around it. The hardest part. I think the hardest part for me is, that's a good question. I gotta think about that. I won't say it's hard. It's not hard for me. Like, is it a challenge like we talked about earlier? Yeah, it's a challenge, but it's not hard. You wanna know why? Because I love doing it. If you like working out, you gotta lift 250 pounds today and then 275 next week. Is it gonna be hard? Yes. But like, is it really hard? You know, it's not, for me, it's not hard. Again, there are challenges and there are obstacles and there are setbacks, but like, I love it. That's a part of the process. Like, you have to understand it. Like, that's normal. Like, I'm gonna shoot. Steph Curry has missed way more shots than he's made. I'm gonna shoot. But I think the hard part for other people is getting past the rejection and the feeling of not being good enough, right? And a lot of people don't like being silly, or looking silly, I should say, right? So you have to be, the vulnerability of acting is if you think talking in front of people is tough, you've done videos of yourself at home and you like, hey, let me delete that. I mean, people take 40 pictures before they post one photo. So I think that's the hardest part, is being okay with trusting the person behind the camera, the director, the lighting, everything that's going on. You got to be okay with letting them coach you into doing what is right and what looks good. And sometimes you're gonna look silly, but those vulnerable moments are the best moments. When you like, oh, it didn't feel right. And then you, oh, wow, it turned out better than I thought. So if you can get past that, I think you'll be fine. The actor wants to be a director and the director wants to be an actor. I'm guilty of it. I am notorious for it. Sorry, Joe. Sorry, Janaea. Sorry, Cabal. Pretty much, especially the shoe lady. Like me and her, we go back and forth a lot. But again, part of that reason, and they listen to me, right? It's a time and place for it, right? But for me, I'm like, shoot it like this, right? And so, but then the director's like, no. And so like, there's this thing and I'm like, but if you angle it like this, so there's some dialogue, right? So I think is understanding that the actors have to make sure that they trust the directors, and the directors have to trust the actors, right? So if that trust isn't there, it's gonna show on camera, right? If I don't feel comfortable, and me personally, if I'm shooting the movie, I'm already committed. I'm already in there. But I see a lot of actors, you could tell how tense they are when they're, right? And so the directors need to make sure that they're casting people who love acting. They don't have to be good, but I told, Gary over at Great Lakes Productions, I told him, I said, before you cast anybody, ask them why. And don't say anything. And again, oh, I'm doing it because I want to be on TV. Cool, I got that. And once you understand that, oh, I'm doing it because I want to make a bunch of money. Cool, that's fine. Whatever your why is, right? But then you know how to approach the actor, right? As a director and as a producer. And then vice versa. The actor has to go, I've seen your movies. Why did you use, and again, study, why did you use an anamorphic lens here? And what kind of camera do you use? Are you using an ARRI? Are you using a red? Are you using Blackmagic? What type of, understanding that? And if you can understand it, they're using, like Ro uses the big boy cameras, he uses the same cameras Quentin Tarantino uses. Oh, I'm not about to say nothing to you. You got it. Because I can see what kind of camera. But if a guy's, and again, it's not to knock anybody, but if you pull up and somebody's got an iPhone, it's like, you might not be taking this as serious as but as an actor, you got to be okay with that. And it doesn't mean give less, but it's just like, you have to understand the angles, right? And if you understand the angles, you'll be fine. And the misconception is that I think the actors and the directors, sometimes they're on two different trajectories, right? And so whatever the angle is, you got to be on that, but you can't be going in different directions. So I think that's important. We're getting really good. Again, people are taking themselves a lot more serious. People are spending money on cameras and lenses and understanding lighting and understanding sound, and we've revolutionized the independent film industry through trial and error. But that's what our city is about. We are hustlers, we're grinders. We don't make excuses, all grit, right? We don't quit. We just super hardworking people, and we're gonna find a way. And so that translates into the film industry. And so what I've watched changed is people for the very, very first time. Scripts might not be good, but it looks amazing, right? Or bro, you needed a better camera because the movie was good, the script was good, the acting was good, but it just wasn't good. So there are these little things that people need to start making those phone calls for and saying, hey, I don't really have the budget, but I need it for this because I got everything else right. And so I've started watching people start to kind of merge together a little bit more, and everybody's not in their own lanes. It's kind of like everybody's going in the same direction, right? And we're slowly but surely changing the game. If I could change anything, I would, I think I would do more collaborations, right? I think human nature is self-preservation. And so there's a cultural thing with Black people that we kind of, like, we're very prideful. We have some of us have big egos. And I mean, we've always watched it, right? Nobody's hating on anybody, right? But everybody's just like, I gotta go first type mentality. I would love to see people start something and then make that phone call to start collaborating more. And so you see Rocky collaborating with Joe with what he's got going on. You see, even Rocky and Janaea, even though they're married, they have their own lanes. Like, there's Silverline and then there's Blacksmith Enterprises. Like, Janaea only wants to do what she wants to do, Rocky on it, but then sometimes they come together, right? And so if we can have that type of, where's the compromise? I would have that a lot more. Yeah, I think that would be the thing I would change the most. I think we need to work together more because better together. It starts at home. It starts at home with casting. So I'm gonna give everybody my tricks. So I know this might sound a little weird, but what I do is, I wake up, get ready, push-ups, sit-ups, brush my teeth, do all those normal stuff. But I look in the mirror and I literally tell myself, you are the worst actor ever. Please don't ever come and show up ever again. Go back to doing your 9 to 5. I don't ever want to see your face again. Because that's the worst thing that's gonna be said. So anything you say under that, I can deal with, right? And you have to understand that, because that's not gonna happen. They're not gonna say that to you. Whatever you fear, acknowledge that, embrace that. And so now it makes it easier for you to take, well, yeah, you kind of got it, right? So it starts there, right? And going in, and that will give you more confidence because you already know that they're not gonna say the worst thing that you don't wanna hear. They're not. The worst they're gonna say is, we'll give you a call. That's it. They're literally, in most cases, 99.9% of the time, they're not gonna tell you no in front of your face because they don't want you to spaz out, right? Then when you get there, come prepared, right? Those who fail to plan to fail. So you wanna be prepared, right? It's no different than going on a job interview, right? And so again, talk to your actor friends, go online, Google is free. They will tell you exactly what you need. They will give you a template for a resume. They will tell you what your headshot's supposed to look like. You have to do all of the preparation beforehand, right? And so, again, a sale is 90% presentation, right? So if you're going in, because a lot of times, sometimes you do, sometimes you don't, but sometimes you know what the sides are. You know what role you're gonna be reading for. So if you're reading for a thug role, why are you coming in a suit? If you're reading for a businessman, why do you have a hoodie on? Right? Why do you have that on, right? So you have to give the producers, the directors, the writers, the whole production team, you gotta already get them there, right? And so as soon as you come on set, even when you're standing in line and there's hundreds and hundreds of people in line, you're in character. You're in character. And it may seem silly to them, but you're practicing, you're literally rehearsing. You got an hour before you get there. You got an hour before you step in that room. So when you step in that room, you have that momentum, right? So Jamal Woodard, who played Biggie, when he walked into the casting room, he walked in like Biggie, hey, yo, y'all need to make sure y'all give me this role. And again, because he just embraced it, he probably had 2 hours to work on that, right? But when he walked it, they couldn't tell him no, because he came in and they seen it right away. They know within the first 10 seconds, right? It's all about confidence, right? And make them tell you no. Whatever it is that you want in life, you know how to say what you need to say, do what you need to do. This is no different. So understanding the casting is important. And again, remember, no doesn't mean no with casting. Because even though they tell you no, I've seen it. This happened to me. I go in for one role and they're like, Rob, we don't want you for this role. We want you for this role, because you owned it. You owned it. And it's like, can you be nice instead of the mean role that you're playing? Can you be mean instead of nice? Yes, I can. And the last thing, and I think the most important thing with casting, and I think a lot of people miss this, you have to show up. You have to. I don't care if it's 70 casting calls in a month. Again, make them tell you no. Because sooner or later, they're gonna be like, I remember you. I remember you came in with the suit. It was like brown suit. And if you know that there's a prop or something that you pull a rose out of, what? You came with a prop? Even though you might not get casted, somebody gonna be like, hey man, you remember the dude that came in and he pulled the rose out? Bring his audition tape up. Bingo. That's how you get casted. Oh man, how much time you got? For me, Get Your Popcorn Ready Productions. So that's next. So that is my production company that I have started. I got about 15 scripts. Some are just treatments. I'm kind of starting them. I got some series. Shout out to Candace Brown. She is going to be my horror person. So she writes horror. I don't do scary stuff. But that's one thing that's not on my resume. So hopefully within the next couple movies, I can do a scary movie. So that's next for me. I think going into 2026, I want to do more bad guy roles. I still want to kind of get that. I want to get that kind of under my belt. But I think horror is up next. Horror and rom-coms. You can start to see it a little bit. You got Rodney and Nate at Blue Clover. They wrote Candace's movie, Don't Come Looking. Very good. China, she's wrote one. Joe is already on that bandwagon with A Good Man that I was a part of, Good Man 1, 2, and 3. I think what happens next in film is, it's like fashion. There's waves, right? So we were on the street wave, and then there's the, kind of like different things is going on there, and then you kind of pivot over. And so I see us pivoting now into the horror side. Then it's going to be rom-com. I'm waiting on the love stories. I'm waiting on my Love Jones. I'm waiting on the different types of movies. I think those movies are lost. The 90s were an amazing time. You got Boomerang, you got Love Jones, Two Could Play That Game. A lot of those, again, it's rom-coms, but more of a love story, right? I like to see Black love, right? And I think the 90s, like mid-90s, mid-90s, 2000s, you saw a lot of that. So I'm really looking forward to that. But it's got to be good. So I have a few that I'm writing right now. For me, as far as what's next as an actor, I'm just growing every day. I want to make sure that people understand that nothing that I do this for is tangible. I've done movies for free, right? Because I believed in the project. And it's come back to, I got more on the next movie because I showed love. I don't do that for everybody, but if I believe in you and I can see that you are truly passionate about it and you have like-minded individuals, then yeah. And so, a lot of people keep asking me, am I gonna have classes? Am I gonna do a, film school or something like that? And the answer is gonna always be no. And the reason for that is because the game is free. I've been where you at. I know what it is to wanna get that knowledge. and you don't get that knowledge and you're looking for somebody to help you. And everybody don't have money to spend on classes, but I do highly suggest that if you get the opportunity, do your research and do that. And so I just hustle and motivate. I have a why that I do this for, and I'll never tell anybody what that is. I wouldn't tell my dad. If I had a girlfriend or a wife, I wouldn't even tell my son, because my why is, if you've ever watched Inception, it's my total. I have to hold on to that, and I don't want anybody to manipulate that in any way. And if you do not know what my why is, you can't angle in on that and try to use that as a reason to make me do anything. So that's that. And then, I'm always represent my city. I love Detroit, no matter where I go. So I'm ready. I'm ready for the next chapter, and FlmLnk is a part of that. So I'm excited to be a part of this. This is another tool that's going to allow me to expand how I do things. You start out as a laser beam, right? You're super duper focused. And then the better you get, it turns into a spotlight. But from a distance, you can see it further. So being able to reach more people and give these type of interviews and give them knowledge and just a free game is important to me. When I leave out of here, I want to leave a legacy. When my son watches this 20, 30 years from now, I want him to be like, yo, my dad was dope, and he did what he loved, and he was uncompromising about it. So I love watching him. And so anything that I do, get your popcorn ready, put on a show for you. It's gonna be fun.
I regret to inform you that the groom will not be moving forward with the wedding today.
He's not coming.
She needs to get out of the house and mingle.
No, she needs to heal and work on herself.
I downloaded Match with Me.
Meeting people online is dangerous.
Okay, and meeting somebody at a grocery store, a restaurant, or even your job is just as equally as dangerous.
My name is Chloe. Maxwell and I used to date. I'm not trying to get in your business or anything, but you're not safe with him.
Sis, how many times have I told you from my past encounters that when women meet men on dating apps, that it's dangerous?
You're sick.
Good question. So Dangerously in Love, I was with Rocky, and I played the fiance from the opening of the movie. I believe Sierra at the altar. But I know I say ain't no acting and acting, but that's for real make-believe, because ain't no way that I'm leaving Sierra at the altar. She is gorgeous. She is by far, in my opinion, the best expressive actor in Detroit. Nobody can do what she does with her face and have that emotion come out. Oh my goodness, like every single movie she does that in. And so she's went out to LA, and so she's on her journey as well. It's good. And so, I mean, again, the other half of it is later on in the movie when I'm trying to get her back. I've been online, and I try not to look at the Tubi groups. I try not to look at the comments, but so many people tag me, and they're like, I know he didn't, and he coming back, but that's good. That tells me that I'm doing my part, right? And so, like Clifton Powell has that issue, right? My man from Why Did I Get Married, who sometimes people tell me I look like, why you live Jill Scott like that on a plane? If people are coming up to you and they cannot, again, take the rose-colored glasses off and see you for like, no, I was just playing a part, I was playing a role, like, you did your job, right? And so I got people that like people that I grew up with, they're like, I know you lying to me, Rob. I know you. How could you do? I'm like, I was just joking, right? It's just a role, right? I'm not. So that's good. That's good. And Rocky is cooking. And he's one of the other few people that. So Rock, yes. No, I don't need to know what it is. I'm there. Just tell me the date. Send me the NDA. Send me the script. Send me the contract. All right. Have a good day. And I put it on my calendar. Like Rock, he does an amazing job. But again, he loves the game, right? And so Dangerously in Love is really, really, really good. And it was fun being on scene with Sierra. She was dope. So right now, Get Your Popcorn Ready Productions. We are still in the initial stages. Acting is a passion of mine. And so right now I'm transitioning over into completely doing this full time. As you know, I was in the military. And so after transitioning out of that and kind of being semi-retired from that, working a couple other jobs, like this acting thing is kind of picking up. So, but I also have other things I'm working on. And so my restaurant that I'm currently working on right now, that is kind of secret squirrel right now, but it is downtown on Woodward. So we're doing a great job with that. So once I kind of get that going, I think at the top of the year, Get Your Popcorn Ready Productions is going to be able to kind of get going. I'm being rushed by a lot of people. Kamal's on me about some things a script he wants me to do. Joe is working with some things. I'm working with Candace Brown, with 7 Line Entertainment. Everybody, Splurge, over there with Plus Productions with Lisa Brown. I just seen Dennis Reed a couple days ago, and I told him, I was like, hey, we need to have a meeting. So I'm blessed beyond measure to have excellent relationships with all of the major people and then all of the subcategories below there. So it's gonna be fun partnering with Joe Smith Media, Kamal Smith Films, Chevrolet Productions, Blacksmith Enterprises, Silverline, DTR Productions, Great Lakes Productions, Urban Cineplex, all of the people that you've seen me work with, those are the people that's going to be a collaboration with. And whether that's me being the lead or them being the lead, again, it's not about, I don't care. Do you want to make a movie? And so Get Your Popcorn Ready Productions is going to be very special to me. And I'm making a promise to you. If you see that popcorn logo, it's a good movie. We've taken the time, we've done the pre-production, we've done the due diligence, we've done rehearsals. I promise from the bottom of my heart that you'll be satisfied with taking time out of your day watching something that I produce. I won't half-ass it, I won't cut any corners. It's gonna be good. Is it gonna be perfect? Maybe not, but it'll be worth your time. And so that's the motto behind it. Like, I want you to really sit down and enjoy yourself. Do what movies are made to do. Eat popcorn, enjoy it, and have a conversation about it afterwards. Yes, but no. Atlanta became its own thing. We are literally where Atlanta was 10 years ago. It's just swinging, right? And so it's just our turn. Everybody migrated to Atlanta. Like, the population is riddled with Atlanta people, with Detroit people. And so now Detroit, we found our lane, right? And so we're gonna have the aspects of what's going on here. Hill Harper, right? A lot of people don't know. He's running for city council or something like that, right? But I seen Hill Harper way back in 2016. He was sitting at Roasting Plant, just sitting in there. And how you doing, Mr. Harper? He like, what's going on? I'm like, what you doing? Research. They are watching us, right? And they see the potential here. And so I really wholeheartedly believe that we've changed the game. I've seen it. I pay attention. Again, I study the culture. I study filmmaking, scripts, and actors, and I'm paying attention to all the little things. And what I noticed is, I just watched, I forget what movie it was, they were using the same exact camera that Thomas Pulowski was using. Not the big, super handheld, like, and it's on a gimbal, and it's like, oh, they realizing they don't have to spend $45,000 just for the camera, $20,000 per lens. It's like, no, we can shoot. And now for them, that makes more sense because now your budget is cut low, and then the on the back end, you're making even more money, and they're seeing what we're doing. And so I think we'll have our own lane. I don't think it'll be Hollywood. I just think we will be a pillar within that, right? And so I love that for us. I love that for us. And Detroit has a way of always changing the culture. We change the culture. Things we do here translate all over the world. Techno, auto industry, movie industry, Motown. We are a major piece of Black culture. And so I'm happy that we figured it out. I'm excited to see where we go. And so I think that we are about to completely rearrange how things are done. And it's gonna be a lot more transparent, and 50, 60, 70, 80, 100 years from now, mainstream media with Joe, Blacksmith Enterprises, DR2 Studios, Lisa Brown Plus, Plus Productions, Get Your Popcorn Ready Productions, that the whole movement of what we're doing, they're gonna be like mid-2000s, 2010, 2015, 2020, Detroit started this, and I'm just so blessed to be a part of this next chapter of how Detroit reshapes the industry in the world. It's dope.
Hold up, why do they doubt the kid? I'm about to prove them all wrong again. I got a low tolerance, cause they don't even know what the problem is. It's me. You waiting on the boy to fail, then hold your breath and face your death. Cause you play a roulette with each step I progress, no less. Go ahead and place your bets, cause we know where we at, we know we top tier. Cause all the hate that you bring, we know it stops here. I'm taking off like a rocketeer, ain't stopping here. It's strange how they cannot see the future, but see profit here.
I love it, man. I love it. I love what you guys are doing. I think it's needed. It's unique. You guys aren't reinventing the wheel. And it's not about who did it first. It's about who did it the best, right? And so I agree with that wholeheartedly. And because I love this game, and because I love acting, and I love every aspect of it, this is just another vertical, if you will, what you guys are doing. I really wholeheartedly believe that FlmLnk has the potential to give us, the actors, another platform and another way for us to showcase who we are.
We don't talk, better know the grind gon' match my walk. I'm a cheat code, I don't take no loss. Making no sense, run up the scope, cause all I do is win. And I'ma do it again.